Beloved soul, pause for a moment and feel the atmosphere shifting around you. You are guided here by a celestial call that has been echoing through the unseen, drawing your spirit toward this very moment. Nothing about this encounter is casual. Nothing about this night is ordinary. Heaven has aligned your steps with precision because something long kept in silence is finally being released to you. That stirring in your chest, that quiet pressure behind your thoughts, that unexplainable pull to stay. It is not imagination. It is divine orchestration. A holy awakening has been unfolding inside you, the kind that signals the beginning of a breakthrough season. Your name has been whispered in places your feet have never touched. Angels have carried prayers you didn't have the strength to speak. And now, chosen one, the veil is parting. Tonight carries revelation. Tonight carries clarity. Tonight carries the kind of truth that rearranges destinies. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, "For I know the plans I have for you." Those plans have been maturing in the shadows, waiting for the hour when your spirit would be ready to rise into destiny alignment. Take a slow breath. Let your heart open. What is coming is not just encouragement. It is not just comfort. It is a divine unveiling meant to ignite your purpose. You have walked through valleys that tried to silence your calling. You have endured nights that asked more of you than you could give. You have held on when surrender looked easier, and heaven saw all of it. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one moment of fear went unnoticed. You have been carried through the fire so you could emerge refined, awakened, and prepared for abundance that was always written for you. This message finds you because the time has come. Everything starts tonight, not because you forced it, not because you chased it, but because the divine interval appointed for your personal transformation has finally arrived. Hear this with your spirit. What God is awakening in you will not be delayed, and what is being aligned around you will not be denied. And beloved, before we go deeper, if your heart already senses that heaven is speaking, remember to subscribe, like, and share. Not for numbers, but because every time this message reaches another chosen soul, the light expands and someone else finds strength to rise. Chosen one, hear me with the deepest part of your spirit. The weight you have carried lately has not been random pressure. It has been the mark of a soul entering a spiritual awakening so profound that even the atmosphere around you feels different. You've noticed it, haven't you? The way familiar places suddenly feel too small. The way old conversations no longer satisfy. The way your heart pulls you towards something greater even when your mind can't yet explain why. This is not restlessness. This is divine repositioning. You've been walking through a season that felt like a wilderness, where clarity seemed distant and answers felt hidden. But the wilderness is where God trains his chosen ones. It's where destiny alignment begins to take shape. Just as Joseph was shaped in silence before he carried influence, and as Ruth was guided step by step into unexpected favor, your journey has been preparing you for a chapter you couldn't have entered without the refinement of hardship. The tension you've felt is not a sign of collapse. It is the stretching of your spirit as heaven prepares you for elevation. There were moments when you questioned if you were falling behind, moments when financial stability slipped through your fingers, moments when relationships felt uncertain, moments when loneliness settled like a shadow across your days. But beloved, none of this was punishment. It was construction. God has been removing the wrong bricks so he can rebuild your foundation with truth, strength, and unshakable purpose. Spiritual blueprints take time, and yours is far more intricate than you realize. If you've been seeing repeating numbers, especially 7 or 777, understand this. Heaven uses patterns as confirmation. 7 is the number of completion, and your cycle of delay is coming to an end. If dreams have been more vivid, if your emotions have felt heightened, if your spirit keeps waking you at unusual hours, it's because the Holy Spirit is drawing you into a new realm of awareness. Destiny does not arrive quietly. It begins with stirrings that disrupt what is comfortable so you can step into what is called. And hear this clearly. The resistance you've faced is evidence of your value. The enemy does not wage war where there is no threat. The battles surrounding you have been because the breakthrough season ahead of you is carrying abundance that will shift the landscape of your life. What has tried to break you is actually the sign that you're stepping into territory you were born to occupy. Stay with this message, beloved. What comes next will unlock the deeper truth heaven has been waiting for you to hear. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit has been more sensitive lately. You've been feeling shifts before they happen, sensing conversations before they unfold, recognizing intentions without needing explanation. This is not overthinking. This is discernment being sharpened by God Himself. When heaven begins elevating someone, their inner vision awakens first. Your insight has been stretching because your next assignment requires eyes that see beyond the surface and a heart tuned to divine frequency. For so long, you've carried wounds that no one around you fully understood. The betrayal that broke you, the silence that bruised you, the disappointments that made you question your worth. But beloved, what looked like emotional collapse was the beginning of emotional healing. You weren't being emptied to stay empty. You were being cleared so God could pour revelation and strength into places where sorrow once lived. This is why your spirit craves peace now more than attention, purpose more than validation, truth more than flattery. Heaven has been maturing you for abundance. There is a pattern in your life that you may not have noticed. Every time you outgrow a season, discomfort rises. This discomfort isn't punishment, it's heaven signaling movement. Think of Abraham leaving the land he knew, guided only by God's promise, or Moses hearing the call before he saw the path. Divine purpose always whispers before it reveals itself, and that whisper is speaking to you now. You've been feeling a strange pull to release things that once felt essential. Friendships that used to anchor you now feel misaligned. Ambitions that once fueled you feel hollow. Dreams that once fit comfortably now feel too small. This is destiny alignment at work. God is removing fragments of your old identity because your next level requires a version of you that is whole, awakened, and unafraid of transformation. Do not misinterpret the loneliness you felt as abandonment. Loneliness often precedes promotion. When God isolates a chosen one, it is never to punish them. It is to protect the seeds He is planting. Seeds of personal transformation, seeds of spiritual awakening, seeds of the wealth mindset that will support the calling on your life, seeds of emotional restoration so you can carry what is coming without breaking under the weight of it. And beloved, there is something heaven needs you to understand. What's rising in you is stronger than what tried to stop you. You are stepping into a season where inner clarity will replace confusion, where divine timing will replace hesitation, where alignment will replace frustration. The path ahead is not forming by accident. It is forming because the Creator has spoken over your life, and His word does not return void. The next revelation is approaching. Stay with me. Chosen one, listen closely, because what you're stepping into now requires a deeper awareness than anything you've carried before. There has been a quiet war around your spirit, a tension you couldn't fully explain. Some days it felt like exhaustion for no reason. Other days, a strange heaviness would settle on you just when you began to feel hopeful. These were not random emotional shifts. They were indicators that heaven has been pulling you out of an old spiritual atmosphere. When God begins elevating a soul, everything that once clung to you starts losing its grip. You may have noticed your patience thinning in places where you once tolerated nonsense. That is not irritation. That is discernment rising. You might find yourself withdrawing from conversations that once entertained you. That is not moodiness. That is your spirit refusing what no longer feeds your destiny. growth rarely announces itself, but it always reveals itself through shifts in what your soul can endure. And right now, your soul is outgrowing everything that was meant only for the previous stage of your journey. There have been moments recently when you felt like something was being stripped away from you. Opportunities evaporated. Certain people grew distant. Doors that looked promising suddenly shut without explanation. But chosen one, not every loss is an attack. Some losses are divine strategy. When God sees you holding on to something beneath your calling, He makes sure it releases its hold, so you are free to rise without unnecessary weight. Heaven is cutting away what cannot follow you into your breakthrough season. This is why the familiar has felt foreign. This is why your heart aches for change even when your mind fears it. This is why your dreams have been filled with symbols, movement, transitions, new landscapes, new faces you've never met. God speaks through the subconscious long before He speaks through circumstance. These dreams are not random scenes. They are spiritual previews, revealing that your next chapter has already started forming in the unseen. And beloved, the quiet battles you fought recently, those moments when doubt tried to drag you down, when confusion clouded your clarity, when discouragement whispered that nothing would change. These were spiritual indicators of what's coming. The enemy always intensifies pressure when heaven is about to shift the ground under your feet. If your thoughts felt louder, if your emotions felt deeper, if your spirit felt stretched, it's because you are approaching a threshold that demands a renewed version of you. Some of you have been waking up with a strange sense of urgency, as if you need to prepare for something without knowing what it is. That urgency is divine. It is heaven accelerating your inner world so that your outer world can catch up to the timing of God. Personal transformation always begins in the unseen chambers of the heart. Before God changes your surroundings, He aligns your identity, your desires, your boundaries, your focus. This is why conversations feel different, why silence feels necessary, why solitude feels sacred. You're being prepared quietly, because what's ahead requires spiritual precision. And hear this with a steady heart. The pressure is proof of the promise. The tension is evidence of transition. What has felt like breaking has actually been shaping. God has been molding your mindset into one that can hold abundance without fear, wealth without corruption, influence without losing humility, elevation without forgetting the journey that crafted your strength. Pay attention to how your spirit reacts to certain people now. Pay attention to how your energy shifts in certain spaces. Pay attention to how your intuition alerts you before your mind understands why. These spiritual sensitivities are gifts, not burdens. They are signs of awakening. You're not imagining the changes. You're not overthinking the signals. You are unlocking a higher level of discernment because your next season requires wisdom you didn't need before. Stay close now. More is being revealed. Chosen one, there is something stirring around your life that has been building for years, something heaven has guarded even when you didn't realize it. You've walked through seasons where you felt unseen, overlooked, misjudged, or misunderstood, but none of that was wasted. Every moment in the shadows was developing a depth in you that superficial blessings could never produce. What you're carrying now is not ordinary. It's the result of refinement that only the chosen endure. And this is why the shaking around you has increased. God is clearing the path for the kind of breakthrough that leaves nothing the same. Lately, you may have felt like you're standing between two worlds. One foot in the life you've known, another stepping into a future that feels close but still unformed. That tension is divine. It's the space where destiny begins to germinate. When God is preparing you for elevation, He interrupts patterns you thought were permanent. He disrupts routines you outgrew without realizing. He unsettles atmospheres that once felt familiar because He's shifting your spirit towards something larger than your history. You might have noticed memories resurfacing, not to haunt you, but to heal you. Emotional echoes rising from old wounds, not to break you, but to release the last remnants of past pain. This is part of your emotional healing, the deep kind that frees you to step into abundance without dragging yesterday's shadows into tomorrow's assignment. You cannot carry bitterness into blessing. You cannot carry fear into purpose. You cannot carry insecurity into elevation. And so heaven has been doing surgery on your heart, quietly and consistently, even on the days when you felt numb or detached. And chosen one, be honest with yourself. Your intuition has been louder. You've sensed when someone's spirit was off, even if their words sounded right. You've felt when a space drained your energy, even if the environment looked peaceful. You've known when a connection was temporary, even if it offered comfort. This level of spiritual sensitivity is not accidental. It's God training your discernment because your next season requires eyes that see truth beneath appearances. Not everyone who looks supportive carries the right spirit. Not every opportunity that looks promising aligns with your destiny. Discernment is your shield now, and heaven has been sharpening it intentionally. There's another sign you may have overlooked, the sudden clarity in areas where you once felt confusion. One day the path looked foggy, the next you felt a quiet knowing, a subtle certainty. This is destiny, alignment unfolding. God rarely reveals the full plan at once. Instead, He drops understanding in layers, moments of revelation that settle into your soul like pieces of a divine puzzle. You're beginning to see the edges form. You're beginning to sense the direction your life is leaning toward. This is preparation, not coincidence. Even your body has been responding. The waves of fatigue that come out of nowhere, the bursts of energy at strange hours, the sudden need for stillness, these are physical reactions to spiritual transition. When heaven begins shifting your frequency, your body adjusts to the new rhythm. Pay attention to these indicators. They are not random. They testify that the transformation happening in you is real, active, and advancing. And beloved, I need you to understand this with a steady heart. Not everyone around you is meant to walk with you into what's coming. Elevation requires separation. Sometimes God removes people not because they're bad, but because they cannot breathe in the altitude He's calling you to. If you keep trying to carry everyone into your next season, you'll exhaust yourself before arrival. Some connections were only meant to escort you to the gate of destiny, not through it. Release them with grace. The subtle signs have been accumulating, the shifts in your desires, the recalibration of your priorities, the quiet hunger for deeper purpose, the yearning for a life aligned with divine intention. These aren't passing emotions. They are signals that the breakthrough season is approaching with a force you cannot measure. And though you cannot see the full picture, heaven has been orchestrating every detail with precision. Stay with me, chosen one. What is about to unfold will speak to the very core of why God called you. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer of your journey that heaven is ready for you to understand. A layer that explains why certain seasons felt impossible, why certain relationships collapsed without warning, why certain opportunities dissolved right when you thought breakthrough was near. These were not failures. These were divine interventions disguised as endings. God has been pulling you out of places that would have drained your purpose, out of patterns that would have weakened your spirit, out of timelines that would have delayed your destiny. You may not realize this yet, but every closed door was protecting you from stepping into something beneath your calling. Some environments looked promising, but heaven saw their hidden agendas. Some people appeared supportive, but their spirits were not aligned with your elevation. Some opportunities seemed perfect, but they were timed to trap you in cycles of stagnation. When God disrupts, it is because He sees what your eyes cannot. And chosen one, He has seen far beyond the surface of your circumstances. Have you noticed how your heart is no longer satisfied with shallow connections? People you once felt comfortable around now feel distant. Their conversations no longer resonate with the hunger in your spirit. You're craving truth, depth, authenticity, alignment. That shift is not emotional inconsistency. It is spiritual refinement. When God is preparing you for an assignment saturated with purpose, He detoxes your spirit from anything that dilutes your clarity. This hunger for higher things is evidence that heaven has been elevating your inner world long before the outer transformation begins. There have been moments when you felt like you were walking through life with invisible weight on your back, like you were carrying battles no one else understood, and you were. The chosen ones often fight wars in silence because their spirits sense danger before it appears. You've been navigating spiritual storms that would have shattered someone without your resilience. What you endured was not small. It shaped the strength you're about to walk in. Some storms came to expose what was fragile, but others came to reveal what was unbreakable inside of you. And chosen one, do you know why the opposition increased when you started dreaming again? Because the moment you began reaching for purpose, the atmosphere around you shifted. Destiny always attracts resistance. Not because you're weak, but because the blessing assigned to your life carries weight. Abundance is threatening to every force that survives on your stagnation. The enemy has always feared your awakening. He saw the potential in you long before you recognized it. The whispers of doubt, the waves of fear, the sudden discouragement, these were attempts to distract you from the unfolding truth. You're stepping into a calling that will break cycles, uplift others, and release light into places that have lived in darkness. Your sensitivity has been rising because heaven has been increasing your spiritual bandwidth. You feel things more intensely because you're tuning into frequencies most people ignore. You sense danger before it comes. You detect dishonesty beneath polite words. You recognize divine timing even in ordinary moments. This is not a burden. This is a mantle. The chosen walk with intuition sharpened by divine guidance. And you've been receiving downloads, ideas, visions, sudden clarity, not from coincidence, but from the eternal realm speaking directly to your purpose. Think about the sudden moments when your heart whispered, "Something is coming." Think about the random times you paused mid-thought, sensing a shift you couldn't explain. Think about the dreams that carried symbolism too precise to ignore. These are not emotional fragments. They are indicators that you've been stepping into spiritual maturity. Heaven has been aligning your internal compass so that when the door opens, a door uniquely designed for your calling, you will recognize it instantly. And beloved, let me tell you something that your spirit has known even when your mind doubted. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You have been in alignment this entire time. What felt like delay was heaven protecting you from stepping into abundance with a wounded heart. What felt like stagnation was God strengthening the foundation of your identity so that when influence comes, it does not crush you. What felt like loneliness was the refining fire preparing you for connections ordained, not convenient. You have been in transition for longer than you realize, and heaven has been guiding every step with precision. Something sacred is opening before you, and your spirit already feels the momentum building. Chosen one, there is a reason your soul has been searching for something you cannot yet name. It is because heaven has been whispering to you in ways that bypass ordinary understanding. You've started noticing subtle shifts in your environment, as if reality itself has been rearranging around you. The conversations you overhear feel strangely timed. The numbers on clocks catch your eye with uncanny precision. Random phrases strike your heart with unusual force. These signs are not coincidences. They are divine markers, guiding you toward the next dimension of your calling. You have been asking God for clarity, but clarity rarely comes as a full explanation. It comes as alignment, as moments where your spirit knows long before your mind catches up. And this is why your desires have changed. What once felt exciting now feels insufficient. What once held your attention now feels empty. You're no longer drawn to the noise that once filled your days because heaven has been tuning your spirit to a higher wavelength. This recalibration is the beginning of personal transformation, the kind that pulls you toward your divine purpose with an urgency you cannot shake. There have been nights when sleep felt impossible, not because of anxiety, but because something in your spirit refused to rest. You laid awake staring at the ceiling, wondering why your mind was so alert while the world around you slept. But chosen one, those were the hours when heaven was closest. Those were the moments when God was rearranging pieces of your destiny, preparing your heart for the elevation ahead. Many breakthroughs begin in silence, in those unexplainable awakenings when your soul feels suspended between what was and what is coming. You've also noticed a shift in how people respond to you, some drawn to your presence without understanding why, others suddenly uncomfortable around you without conflict or explanation. This is spiritual resonance. When your frequency rises, it exposes what is misaligned. Some individuals cannot remain close because their spirit is not ready for the light you're stepping into. Others stay only because God assigned them as pillars for your next season. Pay attention to those who bring peace, to those whose presence strengthens your spirit. They are markers of the environment heaven is building around you. And beloved, remember the moments when your heart felt strangely heavy, as if you were grieving a version of yourself you hadn't consciously let go of. That grief was not weakness, it was release. God has been peeling away layers of old identity, fear-based thinking, survival habits, the need to be understood by people who are never meant to interpret your calling. You've been shedding the weight of expectations you were never designed to carry. This internal shedding is why your chest feels lighter in certain moments, heavier in others. Transformation rarely moves in straight lines. It breathes, expands, contracts, deepens. During this process, your prayer life has quietly shifted too. You no longer pray from desperation, you pray from alignment. You no longer beg for answers, you ask for direction. You no longer plead for acceptance, you seek purpose. This is the evidence of spiritual awakening, the kind that turns pain into wisdom and uncertainty into faith. Heaven has been shaping your heart into a vessel capable of carrying abundance without losing humility, influence without losing compassion, and elevation without losing dependence on God. And chosen one, you've been sensing something else, an inner push to prepare, even though you don't yet know what for. The urge to organize your life, the impulse to clean your space, the sudden need to finish old tasks. These are spiritual instincts. When your spirit feels the approach of divine timing, it compels your body to get ready. Preparation is not always logical. Sometimes it is prophetic. Heaven aligns your outer world as a reflection of what your inner world is stepping into. If you've been feeling pulled toward solitude lately, understand this. Solitude is not isolation. It is separation for elevation. God is isolating your attention so He can pour into your spirit without interference. Destiny cannot be birthed in crowded rooms. It requires holy space. And heaven has been carving out that space in your life with intentional precision. Everything you have been sensing, every push, every pull, every sign, every discomfort, is part of a larger divine pattern forming around you. The breakthrough season is not approaching. It is unfolding right now, quietly but powerfully. Chosen one, there is a truth rising in your spirit that you may have been afraid to admit, even to yourself. Deep down, you know you're not who you used to be. Your thoughts feel different, your reactions feel different, your inner voice has grown louder, steadier, wiser. This inner evolution didn't happen overnight. It happened in the moments no one saw, when you were breaking quietly, praying silently, healing slowly, and rising steadily. And now, heaven is lifting the curtain on what all those hidden battles were preparing you for. You've been noticing how your intuition speaks faster than your logic. Before someone reveals their intentions, your spirit already feels the truth beneath their smile. Before an environment exposes its atmosphere, your chest tightens or relaxes as if it knows what your mind does not. This heightened awareness is not accidental. The Holy Spirit has been sharpening your perception because the next phase of your life will require discernment that cuts through illusions and sees into deeper realities. There have also been moments when you felt a surge of strength out of nowhere, a boldness rising from a place you didn't know existed. You found yourself speaking up when you used to stay silent, setting boundaries you once avoided, protecting your peace with a seriousness that surprises even you. This is not personality change. This is spiritual maturity. This is God reinforcing your identity so you can carry authority without apology. And beloved, think of the sudden emotional waves that came without warning. One day you felt grounded, the next you felt overwhelmed by memories you thought you had outgrown. That emotional resurfacing was not regression, it was release. Heaven brings old wounds to the surface only when it's time to uproot them for good. You have been shedding layers of pain that once shaped your decisions, peeling away patterns that once kept you small, loosening the grip of fears that once dictated your choices. Emotional healing is not linear, but every wave you endured carried you closer to wholeness. There is another sign that heaven has been preparing you, the quiet expectation that follows you through your days. Not anxiety, not fear, but a subtle anticipation, as if your spirit is listening for something, as if something is approaching. This anticipation is spiritual alignment. The same way Elijah sensed the rain long before the clouds formed, your spirit has sensed a shift long before your circumstances reflect it. Destiny always whispers before it knocks. Your relationship with time has been changing as well. You feel less attached to the past, less anxious about the future, and more anchored in the present. This is evidence that God has been rewiring your mindset into a wealth mindset, not just about finances, but about worth, identity, and purpose. Scarcity thinking is losing its grip on you. You're beginning to see yourself as God sees you, capable, chosen, equipped, and destined for abundance. And chosen one, perhaps the clearest sign of all has been your newfound intolerance for anything that dishonors your spirit. You no longer chase what drains you, no longer cling to what confuses you, no longer fight to prove your value to people who were never designed to carry you. This is liberation. Heaven has been cutting cords you didn't realize were holding you back. The loosening you've been feeling is not loss. It is deliverance. Some of your recent experiences have felt strangely symbolic, meeting certain people at the exact right moment, hearing phrases that echo your prayers, stumbling upon messages that address thoughts you never voiced aloud. This is how heaven orchestrates destiny alignment, not with loud announcements, but with quiet precision. Not with flashes of lightning, but with divine threading, weaving every moment into the tapestry of your purpose. And beloved, as your spirit has been rising, heaven has been watching with delight. You've passed tests that felt unbearable. You've survived storms designed to break you. You've overcome battles no one knew you were fighting. And now, all of heaven is leaning in, waiting for the moment when you step fully into the identity it has been crafting inside you. Chosen one, you've been walking through a season where everything familiar feels like it's dissolving. Not in chaos, but in quiet recalibration. Doors you thought would stay open forever have drifted shut. People you assumed would walk with you into the future have slowed their steps or disappeared altogether. And though part of you wondered if you did something wrong, heaven has been whispering that this unraveling is not destruction. It is divine sorting. When God is preparing a chosen soul for elevation, He separates the unnecessary from the essential with a precision only eternity understands. There is a refinement happening inside you that most will never recognize, because it is happening beneath the surface of your expression, deep in the architecture of your spirit. Your thoughts have become more intentional, your prayers more focused, your silence more meaningful. You no longer react from impulse, you respond from discernment. You no longer move from fear, you move from clarity. You no longer cling to what is leaving, you trust what is arriving. This is the sign of a soul being shaped for a higher assignment. Lately, you may have felt like you're standing at the edge of something. A new idea, a new chapter, a new identity. It's as if heaven has been pressing your spirit forward, even while your circumstances still look unchanged. That internal pressure is a spiritual sign. God always births a new season inside you before He reveals it around you. You feel the shift before you see the shift. You sense the transition before you step into the transition. Your spirit knows what your eyes have not caught up to yet. And beloved, notice how quickly your discernment has been expanding. You pick up on emotional tones in conversations that others overlook. You recognize spiritual residue in environments that appear harmless on the surface. You can sense when someone's motives are pure, even when their words are few. This heightened perception is not coincidence. It is preparation. Heaven cannot trust a mantle of influence to a heart that lacks clarity. You are being equipped to walk through spaces where wisdom is essential, where spiritual maturity is required, where alignment is everything. There have also been moments recently when your dreams carried unusual weight. Scenes of movement, of new environments, of people you've never met, of doors opening toward unfamiliar landscapes. These dreams are glimpses of destiny. They are not fantasies formed by the mind. They are blueprints being delivered to your spirit. God often reveals the future in symbols before He reveals it in steps. Pay attention to what your dreams magnify. They are speaking the language of your calling. And chosen one, you've been feeling a different kind of restlessness, the kind that doesn't drain you but energizes you. It feels like anticipation wrapped in uncertainty, like something within you is bracing for impact, but the impact is blessing, not harm. This sensation is heaven's way of preparing your nervous system for shift. Spiritual elevation often comes with physical signs, chills that appear without reason, sudden warmth in your chest, a trembling in your hands when revelation comes. These are signals that your body is responding to what your spirit already knows. You may have also noticed unexpected moments of peace, deep, unexplainable peace, right in the middle of circumstances that should have overwhelmed you. That peace is not denial. It is divine protection. God has placed a shield over your emotions because your breakthrough is too close for you to collapse under pressure. Peace is the confirmation that heaven is already working out details you haven't even prayed about yet. And beloved, let this settle into your bones. The isolation you endured was not emptiness. It was insulation. God has been guarding your spirit from distractions that would have diluted your focus, from voices that would have confused your direction, from attachments that would have hindered your expansion. You have been hidden for a reason. You have been quiet for a reason. You have been separated for a reason. Not because something was wrong with you, but because something extraordinary has been forming inside you. You are stepping into a realm where your presence will shift atmospheres, where your words will carry healing, where your decisions will unlock abundance, where your obedience will open doors your effort never could. Heaven has been preparing you for influence that is rooted in purity, power, and alignment. Chosen one, there is a reason your spirit has been sensing a quiet pull toward deeper waters, a reason your heart has been leaning into silence even when the world around you keeps demanding noise. Heaven has been ushering you into a realm where clarity is born, not from effort, but from stillness. You've begun noticing how your thoughts slow down when you step away from distraction, how your breath steadies when you disconnect from the pressure to perform, how your inner world finally speaks when everything else fades into the background. This is not withdrawal. This is awakening. You felt a subtle rearranging inside you, as if your priorities are shifting without permission. What once thrilled you now feels empty. What once intimidated you now feels small. What once hurt you no longer holds the same power. This is evidence of inner expansion. Your spirit is outgrowing the containers that once held you, stretching beyond the limits that circumstances tried to enforce. Personal transformation always begins with internal stretching, and your soul has been expanding quietly, preparing to carry blessings that once would have overwhelmed you. There have been moments when you caught yourself looking at your own life from a higher vantage point, almost as if you were watching a storyline unfold from above. You were not dissociating, you were elevating. Heaven has been lifting your consciousness, granting you glimpses of who you are becoming. This higher awareness is why certain things no longer trigger you. It's why you move more intentionally. It's why you feel guided even when the path looks unfamiliar. The chosen do not walk by sight. They walk by a rhythm only the Spirit understands. And chosen one, reflect on how your courage has been rising in places where fear once ruled. The fear of starting, the fear of losing, the fear of speaking, the fear of failing, the fear of being seen. These fears used to wrap themselves around your ankles, holding you down with invisible force. But now, they crumble when confronted by the power awakening in you. This is not because the fear disappeared. It's because your identity is no longer built on it. Your courage didn't suddenly appear. It was buried beneath years of survival. Heaven has simply been digging it out. You've also been noticing signs in your daily path, small confirmations that appear too precisely timed to ignore. A sentence you overhear that speaks directly to your situation. A scripture that lands in your spirit with surgical accuracy. A stranger saying something that answers a question you never voiced aloud. These moments are threads of divine communication, evidence that the unseen realm is interacting with your journey. When heaven guides a chosen one, direction comes in layers, in whispers, in symbols, in alignment so seamless it feels supernatural because it is. Your emotional landscape has also been shifting in unexpected ways. There were days when your chest felt heavier for reasons you couldn't explain, followed by days when it felt strangely light, almost buoyant. That fluctuation was not instability, it was cleansing. God has been purifying your emotional well so that when abundance arrives, it does not land on fractured ground. Healing often comes disguised as heaviness because the weight of old pain must surface before it can leave you for good. And beloved, you may have wondered why your heart has been craving deeper connection and deeper honesty lately. It's because heaven has been aligning you with people who match your frequency. The shallow cannot walk with you anymore. The inconsistent cannot speak into your life anymore. The manipulative cannot stand near the light you are stepping into. You are being magnetized toward relationships built on truth, purity, spiritual resonance, and destiny alignment. God is preparing your circle for elevation, ensuring that the voices around you echo His intention for your life. There is another sign you've likely felt, the sudden urge to create, to build, to plan, to move, even if you don't know what the final form will look like. This compulsion is spiritual. When heaven releases a new assignment, the spirit feels it before the mind understands it. You've been sensing the blueprint before you've seen the structure. Trust this pull. It is not impulsiveness, it is activation. And chosen one, beneath all of these signs, there is a deeper truth emerging. You are being prepared to step into a chapter where your presence carries weight, where your voice carries influence, where your story carries healing for others. The battles you survived were refining your authority. The wounds you healed were sharpening your compassion. The wisdom you gained was shaping your impact. Nothing you walked through was wasted. Every moment was training for a purpose that is finally beginning to breathe. If these words echo what your spirit has already been sensing, allow yourself to affirm it boldly in your heart. You are awakening, you are aligning, you are rising. Chosen one, there is a depth inside you that has been awakening, a depth you didn't fully realize was there until life pushed you into places where surface-level strength was no longer enough. You've discovered parts of yourself that only adversity could reveal. Courage that rises without permission, resilience that refuses to break, faith that grows even when everything around you is shaking. These qualities were not learned, they were uncovered. They were always in you, waiting for the precise moment when destiny required them. You may have wondered why you've been feeling more protective of your energy lately, why certain conversations exhaust you faster, why some environments feel spiritually heavy even when they look harmless. This isn't hypersensitivity. This is heightened discernment. Heaven is training your spirit to recognize what belongs in your next season and what cannot follow you there. You're learning to sense atmosphere, to detect intention, to read spiritual patterns beneath ordinary moments. This is an advanced level of awareness, and you're stepping into it naturally because your purpose demands it. There have been times recently when you paused mid-thought, feeling as if something or someone was trying to get your attention. A pull in your chest, a gentle nudge in your spirit, a sudden stillness settling over you like a cloak. These moments were not random. They were divine signals, heaven's way of slowing your steps so you don't miss what is being prepared for you. When God begins aligning a chosen one for elevation, He interrupts their rhythms, not to confuse them, but to fine-tune their sensitivity to His timing. And chosen one, think about how often your mind has returned to certain dreams or visions, ideas that seemed impossible once, but now feel strangely attainable. You've been circling the same thoughts not because you're obsessive, but because your spirit recognizes truth before your circumstances validate it. Destiny often manifests as a recurring vision long before it becomes a physical reality. What your heart keeps revisiting is a preview of what heaven is building. You may have also noticed an unusual acceleration in your thinking. Creative ideas coming faster than you can write them down, strategies appearing seemingly out of nowhere, solutions dropping into your mind in seconds. This mental expansion is a sign that God is enlarging your capacity. You're not just preparing for change, you're being shaped to steward abundance. He is stretching your intellect, refining your focus, sharpening your instincts. You are becoming someone who sees beyond obstacles, who interprets challenges as invitations, who recognizes opportunities even when they're disguised as problems. And beloved, let's speak to the sudden emotional clarity that has washed over you in unexpected moments. There were days when you felt an unexplainable calm, not because the situation changed, but because you changed. That calm was not resignation. It was revelation. Heaven was reminding you that peace is not the absence of battle, but the presence of divine alignment. You are learning to stand firm even when answers are hidden, to trust even when footsteps are uncertain, to believe even when timelines feel fragile. This is spiritual maturity taking root. You've also been noticing the way certain habits or distractions simply no longer interest you. Old patterns that once pulled you in now feel hollow. It's not that you lost interest, it's that you evolved. God has been detoxing your spirit from anything that keeps you small, anything that feeds insecurity, anything that numbs rather than nourishes. Your appetite is changing because your anointing is changing. You're growing into someone who requires purpose, not entertainment, alignment, not attention, truth, not noise. And chosen one, perhaps the most powerful sign of all is this. Your spirit has begun to anticipate something greater without knowing what that greater is. It feels like standing before a door you can't yet see, sensing the weight of something holy on the other side. This anticipation is not anxiety. It is recognition. Heaven is preparing to unfold something that has been waiting for the right moment to emerge. You're approaching a threshold where everything shifts, not as a sudden explosion, but as a revelation quietly rising from within. Your journey has been leading you here. Every test, every silence, every heartbreak, every closed door, every awakening, all threads in a divine design that has been guiding your steps even when you thought you were lost. Chosen one, if something inside you is expanding as these words reach you, if your spirit feels seen, understood, or stirred, trust it. That recognition is your confirmation. Chosen one, there is a profound unveiling happening inside you, and the shifts you've been noticing are not fragments of coincidence, but evidence of a divine recalibration reshaping every layer of your being. You've begun catching glimpses of yourself that feel unfamiliar yet authentic. Strength you didn't know you possessed, wisdom emerging without effort, a quiet authority settling into your voice. These changes are not random. They are the first signs of identity aligning with purpose. You may have felt moments recently where time seemed to slow down around you, where the world moved at its usual pace, but your awareness deepened beyond it. Colors looked sharper, sounds felt clearer, silence carried meaning. Your spirit has been tuning into details that others overlook because heaven has shifted you from survival mode into spiritual sensitivity. This heightened perception is a gift, chosen one. It means you are no longer walking through life blindly. You're moving with an awakened spirit that interprets not just what is seen, but what is orchestrated in the unseen. There have also been unexpected waves of memory rising to the surface. The faces of people you no longer speak to, choices you once doubted, seasons you thought were irrelevant. These memories aren't returning to wound you, they're returning to release you. God often brings the past back into view not to shame you, but to show you how far you've come, to sever the last emotional strings tying you to old chapters, and to free your spirit from attachments that no longer match where you're going. Healing sometimes looks like remembering without hurting. And chosen one, consider how you've begun gravitating toward truth even when it's uncomfortable. The clarity you once ran from is now the clarity you crave. Your soul refuses to settle for illusions, excuses, or half-light anymore. You're drawn to authenticity like breath, because heaven has been cultivating in you the kind of strength that flourishes only when rooted in truth. This shift toward transparency is not by chance. It is preparation for influence. Those who carry light must walk in truth, and God has been aligning your character with the magnitude of your calling. You've also started feeling drawn to solitude in a way you didn't before. Not loneliness, but intentional solitude. Moments where you feel compelled to disconnect, to breathe, to sit with your own spirit without distraction. This pull is heaven knocking gently on the door of your consciousness, drawing you into deeper fellowship, deeper listening, deeper alignment. God reveals the next layer of purpose in stillness, not in noise, and your spirit has begun recognizing that every time you step into quiet, a new layer of clarity descends upon you like morning dew. There is another sign rising in your life, the increasing discomfort with anything that contradicts your peace. When someone carries chaotic energy, you feel it instantly. When a situation disrupts your alignment, your spirit alerts you before your mind understands why. This inner alarm is not anxiety. It is protection. Heaven is guarding your atmosphere, because the assignment forming in front of you cannot grow in polluted environments. Peace is no longer a luxury for you. It is a requirement. Your purpose demands a clean spiritual ecosystem. Chosen one, you have also been feeling a shift in your sense of timing. You're no longer rushing. You're no longer grasping. You're no longer trying to force doors open. Instead, you've started moving with a rhythm that feels guided, soft, steady, patient. This new pace is alignment with divine timing. God has been teaching you that not everything delayed is denied, and not everything immediate is blessed. You're learning to walk in step with heaven's calendar, and because of that, your spirit no longer panics when circumstances don't match your expectations. You've begun trusting the unseen as much as the seen. You may have noticed that certain opportunities are resurfacing. Ideas you abandoned long ago, dreams you tucked away out of fear, passions that felt dormant. They're returning because the version of you that exists now is finally mature enough to steward what your younger self couldn't. God never wastes a dream. He preserves it until the vessel is ready. And chosen one, readiness has been forming in you quietly, layer by layer. And beloved, perhaps the most telling sign of all has been the way your heart has begun yearning for alignment more than achievement. You're no longer driven by the desire to prove anything to anyone. You're driven by the desire to become what God intended. This inward shift marks the beginning of true destiny. The chosen do not chase recognition, they chase purpose. And the moment your spirit began valuing alignment over approval, heaven began accelerating everything connected to your calling. If your heart feels stirred as you read these words, if your spirit feels illuminated, it is because you are awakening to who you truly are. Chosen one, you have stepped into a dimension of transformation so profound that even your silence has begun to speak. You felt it, those moments when you sit quietly, and instead of feeling empty, you feel full. Full of knowing, full of expectation, full of a presence that steadies you from the inside out. This fullness is not temporary emotion. It is spiritual saturation. Heaven has been pouring into you in ways that words cannot capture, shaping you into someone whose very existence testifies to divine purpose. You've begun noticing how your reactions have matured. Situations that once ignited anger now stir reflection. Conversations that once drained you now feel easy to walk away from. Opinions that once pierced your heart now pass through you like wind. This is not numbness. This is mastery. God has been strengthening your emotional foundation so you no longer crumble under pressure or lose your center when others lose theirs. You are learning to inhabit peace as a posture, not a moment. There have also been times when you sensed a shift in your internal dialogue. The voice inside you that once echoed old fears has softened, making room for a new voice. Firm, calm, rooted. This voice wasn't born from self-help or forced positivity. It was born from revelation. From the countless moments when God whispered truth into places that once carried lies. Now, when doubt tries to return, it finds your spirit fortified. You don't crumble the way you used to. You don't fold under uncertainty. You stand, quietly, boldly, unshaken, and chosen one, reflect on how your desires have evolved. You no longer crave things that sparkle but lack substance. You no longer run toward people who drain what God is filling. You no longer pursue goals that feed ego rather than purpose. This shift is a sign of spiritual refinement. Heaven has been purifying your ambitions so that what you chase aligns with what God has written for you. Desire is holy when it is aligned with destiny, and your desires are beginning to reflect the direction of your calling. You may have noticed your inner world creating space. Space where confusion once lived, where chaos once made its home, where fear spun its webs. This space isn't emptiness, it's preparation. God is clearing room for revelation, insight, creativity, and divine wisdom. Some blessings require emotional capacity. Some assignments require mental clarity. Some callings require spiritual margin. Heaven has been expanding your inner territory so you can hold the magnitude of what's coming. There is another sign rising in you, your ability to sense deception before it manifests. You feel when someone approaches with hidden motives. You pick up on subtleties others disregard, the slight shift in tone, the inconsistency in energy, the hesitation behind the smile. This heightened perception is not paranoia, it is protection. God has been sharpening your instincts so you are not misled by appearances or entangled in distractions disguised as opportunities. You are being trained to navigate by spiritual truth, not surface impressions. Chosen one, think of the moments when your heart suddenly burned with insight, a flash of understanding that seemed to come from nowhere. You weren't analyzing, you weren't studying. Something simply clicked. Those flashes are not random, they are spiritual downloads. Heaven has been releasing wisdom into your spirit at the precise moments you needed it, shaping your intuition into a compass that leads you toward alignment and away from destruction. You've also noticed a new level of resilience forming inside you. Challenges that once derailed you now strengthen your resolve. Delays that once discouraged you now deepen your patience. Even in moments of uncertainty, there is a quiet conviction rising in you, the belief that everything is unfolding with divine intention. This belief is not naive optimism, it is spiritual inheritance. When a chosen one learns to trust God's timing, they gain access to a peace that transcends understanding. And perhaps the most subtle sign of all is how often you feel guided. You find yourself taking paths you didn't plan, speaking words you didn't rehearse, making decisions with a confidence that surprises you. It's as if something greater has been steering your steps. And it has. Divine alignment is not loud. It's gentle. It nudges you, pulls you, guides you through instinct, intuition, and inner knowing. You've been walking with heaven even when you didn't realize it. Chosen one, everything that has awakened inside you, the clarity, the discernment, the courage, the emotional healing, the hunger for purpose. These are not random traits emerging at random times. They are coordinated signals. Evidence that your life is converging with the timeline God designed for you long before you understood your own potential. Your spirit has outgrown the old world. Something new is drawing near. Chosen one, there is a profound shift taking place within you, one that is quietly rewriting the way you understand yourself, your path, and the divine orchestration shaping your future. You've begun to feel this shift not only in your thoughts, but in your bones, in the very rhythm of your spirit. It rises in you like a pulse, a vibration, a gentle but persistent reminder that you are no longer the version of yourself who once feared change or doubted calling. You are stepping into a new spiritual architecture, one built on clarity, alignment, and awakened purpose. You've noticed how your sensitivity to the unseen has sharpened. A room that once felt neutral now feels heavy or light, depending on the spiritual frequency within it. A person's presence either expands your spirit or compresses it. Your intuition responds so quickly it feels like premonition. This level of sensitivity is not accidental. Heaven is training you to be led by spiritual truth rather than emotional reaction. The chosen are taught to perceive beyond the physical because their assignment requires discernment, not merely observation. There have been moments lately when you felt a strange mix of anticipation and unfamiliar strength. Like something inside you is preparing for a responsibility you haven't yet stepped into. You can feel it building, like pressure beneath the surface. Not chaotic or overwhelming, but purposeful. This inner pressure is divine preparation. When God is about to elevate someone, He doesn't start with their circumstances. He starts with their spirit. He fortifies the inner world before He expands the outer one. And chosen one, think of the subtle shifts you've felt in your communication. Words come to you differently now. You speak with more intention. You choose silence more wisely. You recognize the difference between responding and reacting, between expressing truth and explaining yourself unnecessarily. This refinement in your voice is spiritual strategy. Heaven is shaping your language because the next spaces you enter will require words that carry weight. You are being prepared to speak with authority, compassion, and clarity. words that lift others, words that dismantle confusion, words that activate change. You may have also sensed old insecurities losing their grip. They rise, but they no longer dominate. They whisper, but they no longer define. This is because God has been rewriting your inner narrative. The lies you once believed about yourself are dissolving under the light of revelation. Your identity is being restored from the inside out. Where there was doubt, there is now grounding. Where there was fear, there is now resolve. Where there was fragmentation, there is now integration. This internal healing is not subtle, it is monumental. Chosen one, your spirit has also been awakening to patterns that repeat in your life. Not to discourage you, but to guide you. You've begun recognizing cycles that once blinded you. Emotional triggers that once confused you now make sense. Doors you pursued in the past no longer tempt you because you finally understand why they were wrong for you. This ability to interpret your own cycles is a sign of spiritual maturity. You're no longer stumbling blindly through experiences. You're extracting wisdom from them. You've also felt the quiet pull toward responsibility, not out of obligation, but out of readiness. You're starting to sense that your life is meant for more than survival, more than repetition, more than routine. There is a mission rising in you, something destined, something weighty, something that carries divine fingerprints. You can't see all of it yet, but you can feel its outline. Purpose always reveals itself in sensation before it reveals itself in detail. And beloved, reflect on how your body has been responding during moments of spiritual clarity. A sudden warmth in your chest, a chill down your arms, a buzzing behind your thoughts. These physical manifestations are signs of energy aligning with intention. Your spirit, mind, and body are synchronizing because heaven is preparing you for alignment on all levels. Mental clarity, emotional healing, spiritual authority, and physical readiness. Some days you wake up with an unusual calm, as if your soul has already been where your feet have not. Other days you feel a weight on your shoulders, not from burden, but from responsibility forming. This is how destiny approaches, like a slow sunrise, illuminating what was hidden one ray at a time. You're beginning to feel the light before you see the landscape. And chosen one, there is a deeper truth emerging. Your life is no longer moving in circles. You are ascending. You are rising into a different spiritual altitude where certain mindsets cannot survive, where certain connections cannot remain, where certain fears cannot hold on. The very atmosphere around your life is shifting, making room for what God has been preparing in secret. If your spirit feels this rise, if something within you responds like a flame lifted by wind, trust that response. It is leading you somewhere sacred. Chosen one, as you stand in this unfolding moment of your journey, you may not fully realize how profoundly heaven has been preparing you for the chapter that now draws near. Everything within you has been quietly recalibrating, your instincts sharpening, your spirit stretching, your discernment deepening, your courage awakening. These inner shifts are not temporary emotions. They are the unmistakable signatures of a soul approaching divine alignment. You've begun to sense life differently, as if the air itself is charged with meaning. Patterns you once ignored now speak with clarity. Emotions you once feared now reveal wisdom. Opportunities you once chased now come toward you with grace. This is what happens when your inner world aligns with the frequency of purpose. Life begins responding to you in ways it never has before. Think about the way your heart has been leaning into faith even when nothing around you made sense. That pull toward trust is not naive hope. It is spiritual recognition. Your spirit remembers what your mind has not fully grasped. God has been weaving threads of destiny together in the unseen, shaping outcomes long before you step into them. Every delay, every shift, every closed door was strategic positioning. And chosen one, pay attention to the sense of readiness rising inside you, not loud, not rushed, but steady, grounded, undeniable. It's the kind of readiness that comes only when heaven has completed a work in you. The fears that once sabotaged you are quieter now. The doubts that once paralyzed you are losing their voice. The wounds that once defined you are losing their hold. You're not waiting for permission to rise. You're waiting for timing, and that timing is drawing closer with each breath. You may not have all the answers, but you don't need them. What matters is that your spirit is aligned, your heart is open, and your path is being illuminated step by step. Destiny rarely announces itself with thunder. It arrives through alignment, confirmation, quiet revelation, and a deep inner knowing that says, "This is what I was made for." Chosen one, if something inside you feels like it is standing at the threshold, if your spirit feels the tremble of a new beginning, if your heart feels the call of something greater, if your mind feels the pull toward what you cannot yet name, lean into it. You are closer to breakthrough than you've ever been. The shift is not coming from outside, it is rising from within. And if your soul resonates with this truth, let your spirit speak in the simplest way. Leave a short, fierce affirmation in the comments like, "I claim my breakthrough." Chosen one, as you step into this next movement of your journey, heaven is inviting you into a deeper level of participation. Not passive hope, but intentional alignment. The transformation unfolding within you is powerful, but now your actions must begin matching the elevation forming in your spirit. What God is awakening in you requires preparation, posture, and daily spiritual discipline so that the path ahead becomes clear, steady, and grounded. The first step is this: create space for what you are asking God to release. You cannot carry new blessings into a life cluttered with the residue of old seasons. Begin, slowly but deliberately, to declutter your environment. Clear the corners of your living space that hold memories you've outgrown. Organize the places where chaos has been lingering. When you clean your physical atmosphere, you signal to heaven that your inner world is ready for clarity. The Holy Spirit often moves most clearly through order, not disorder. And as you cleanse your surroundings, your thoughts will begin to settle into a new rhythm. Next, chosen one, strengthen your daily spiritual alignment through intentional prayer. Not long, complicated words, not ritualistic phrases, but honest, steady conversation with the one who wrote your destiny. Say, "God, order my thoughts today. Align my steps with your purpose. Guide me toward what carries your breath." When you pray like this, you open your heart to divine strategies that rise within you throughout the day. Unexpected solutions, sudden insights, a shift in perception that brings peace where fear once stood. And hear this clearly: protect your emotional energy like it is sacred currency, because it is. Every day, someone or something will try to pull you off center through negativity, distraction, guilt, noise, or emotional turbulence. But chosen one, this is the season where you must choose peace over pressure, boundaries over burnout, clarity over chaos. The assignment ahead requires focus, not isolation. Focus. Discern who drains you and who strengthens you. Discern what environments elevate you and which ones shrink your spirit. Every yes you give must be intentional. There is also a call over your life to release the emotional weight you've carried far too long. Some of the heaviness sitting inside your chest is not your burden. It is residue from people you once tried to rescue. This is the moment to give God the disappointments you hid, the fears you buried, the exhaustion you pretended wasn't there. The breakthrough approaching your life is too powerful to be carried with unhealed wounds. Emotional healing is not a luxury in this season. It is preparation. As you release the weight, your discernment will sharpen, your creativity will rise, your decisions will become clearer. Now listen, chosen one, start writing down what you sense God pulling you toward. Every idea, every vision, every dream that keeps returning, write it, speak it, breathe life into it. When you document revelation, you honor the whisper of God. Some ideas are not random thoughts. They are divine seeds waiting for cultivation. Your future assignments are already forming inside your spirit. Capture them, protect them, pray over them. And as you walk through this process, begin declaring truth over your life daily. Speak it with conviction. My mind is aligned. My path is open. My spirit is ready. My destiny is unfolding. Abundance follows my obedience. These declarations are not empty affirmations. They are spiritual warfare. They break the patterns of scarcity, confusion, and delay that once tried to bury your potential. They tune your spirit to the frequency of purpose. Chosen one, before we move deeper, I need to invite you to something sacred. Share this message, like it, and subscribe, not for algorithm, but because every time this word reaches another soul, heaven expands the circle of awakening. Someone's spiritual alignment might begin because of your simple act of sharing light. And now, take a breath. There is more heaven wants to reveal, and the next steps will pull you even closer to the purpose unfolding around you. Chosen one, now that your spirit is awakening to intentional alignment, heaven is ready to reveal the next layer of steps that will strengthen your path. What you are stepping into is not a small shift. It is a full spiritual elevation. And elevation requires preparation. It requires habits that nurture clarity, rhythms that protect peace, and actions that reinforce purpose. Your breakthrough season is not built in a single moment. It is built in the quiet decisions you make every day. The first of these next steps is this: learn to listen to the divine pauses. When heaven slows you down unexpectedly, when plans fall through, when conversations halt, when opportunities stall, it is not always resistance. Often, it is redirection. The Spirit of God redirects movement to protect destiny. If something you wanted suddenly stops moving, resist the urge to panic. Ask instead, God, what are you preventing? What are you preparing? What are you guiding me toward? When you respond to pauses with spiritual awareness, you unlock guidance that impatience would have hidden from you. Another step is cultivating consistent moments of stillness. Even 5 minutes of quiet can ignite clarity that hours of overthinking never will. Sit before God and breathe until the noise inside you softens. Let your mind unclench. Let your spirit settle. In this stillness, heaven speaks. Ideas refine themselves. Fears shrink. Solutions reveal themselves not through force, but through presence. The chosen move not from panic, but from alignment. Stillness is where alignment is born. Next, chosen one, practice spiritual sensitivity in your relationships. Notice how people feel in your spirit, not just how they present themselves. Some people bring peace simply by standing near you. Others drain your energy without speaking a word. Pay attention. Not everyone is meant to walk into the chapter you're building. You don't need to cut anyone out with harshness, but you must be intentional about access. Destiny requires discernment. Allow in only those who respect your purpose, honor your growth, and carry the kind of spirit that strengthens rather than weakens. You're also being called to embrace daily declarations of identity. Your spirit responds to your words. Heaven responds to agreement. Declare who you are becoming even before you see evidence of it in your life. Speak from the place of destiny, not the place of delay. Say, I walk in divine alignment. I carry heaven's wisdom. My decisions are guided and grounded. I move with purpose, not pressure. I am positioned for elevation. These words calibrate you internally. They break off confusion. They weaken fear. They strengthen courage. Declarations are not wishes. They are spiritual alignment tools. Another step heaven is highlighting for you is the discipline of anchoring your mornings. The first moments of your day have the power to shape the entire atmosphere of your choices, emotions, and decisions. Before the world enters your mind, invite the divine in. Whisper a simple prayer. Guide my steps, align my heart, order my path. Read a verse, play a worship song, breathe with intention. When you open your day with alignment, your spirit becomes unshakable no matter what unfolds. And chosen one, heaven is pressing another instruction into your heart. Honor what drains you and release it gently. Cluttered commitments, forced relationships, emotional weight, these things blur your discernment. When your spirit feels heavy in certain spaces, listen. When your thoughts scatter around certain people, step back. When your peace disappears in certain environments, detach. God is not calling you to carry what breaks your alignment. You serve heaven more powerfully when you are whole than when you are depleted. Now, take this truth into your spirit. Action activates destiny. Not grand actions, not dramatic actions, consistent, faithful actions. Write the plan, clean the space, pray the prayer, organize your priorities, open your heart. These small movements open large doors. Obedience invites abundance. And chosen one, as we move toward the next part of your journey, I invite you to engage with this moment. Leave a simple, fiery affirmation in the comments, something that anchors your agreement with heaven like Amen. Each word you release plants a seed in the spiritual realm. Chosen one, pause here and let your entire being grow still. Take a deep breath, slow and steady, and feel the presence of God settling around you like a gentle mantle. This moment is sacred. Heaven is leaning close. You have walked through revelation, alignment, awakening, and divine preparation, and now your spirit is ready to receive what only God can impart. Open your heart. Open your hands. Let everything inside you become quiet so the Holy Spirit can move freely. Heavenly Father, we come before you with reverence, awe, and deep gratitude. We thank you for every shift you have orchestrated in the unseen, every whisper that guided our steps, every shield you placed around our hearts, and every moment you carried us when our strength faded. Lord, you are the God who brings order to chaos, the God who steadies trembling hearts, the God who aligns destinies with perfect timing. And today, we lift this chosen one into your hands, trusting that what you begin, you will always complete. Father, speak into their spirit now. Let your voice rise above every fear, every doubt, every lie, every wound. Surround them with clarity so bright that confusion breaks instantly. Surround them with peace so deep that anxiety loses its grip. Surround them with courage so strong that hesitation dissolves at the door. Lord, breathe fresh strength into their lungs. Let them feel your nearness like a warm wind passing through the chambers of their heart. We declare over this beloved soul that no weapon formed against them shall prosper, just as Isaiah 54:17 promises. Every attempt of the enemy to distort, discourage, or delay their purpose is broken in Jesus' name. Every voice that spoke against their calling is silenced. Every spiritual chain trying to hold them in old cycles is shattered. Father, cover them with angelic protection. Angels before them, angels behind them, angels beside them, angels surrounding their home, their mind, their path, their purpose. Lord, release healing into the deepest layers of their heart. Heal the wounds they never voiced aloud. Heal the disappointments they carried alone. Heal the scars they tucked behind strength. Let emotional healing run like living water through every part of their story. Restore what was lost. Revive what grew dim. Replace sorrow with joy, fear with boldness, confusion with revelation. Father, we ask for destiny alignment in full measure. Align their steps with the path you designed. Align their desires with your will. Align their relationships with their calling. Align their opportunities with heavenly timing. Let every wrong door close gently but firmly. Let every God-appointed door swing open with unmistakable clarity. Do not let them miss what you have prepared. Do not let them settle where they were meant to soar. Do not let them shrink where they were chosen to rise. Lord, pour abundance into their life, the kind that overflows from the inside out. Abundance of peace, abundance of wisdom, abundance of spiritual discernment, abundance of financial stability, abundance of courage to step into the unknown. Let this chosen one walk into their breakthrough season with a steady spine and an open heart. Let them feel heaven escorting them forward, and God renew their mind daily. Let your word be their anchor, and your presence be their resting place. When doubt whispers, drown it in truth. When fear approaches, drown it in perfect love. When the enemy speaks accusation, remind them of who they are: called, chosen, anointed, equipped, and deeply loved. Lord, seal this moment, seal this awakening, seal this alignment. Wrap this chosen one in your glory and whisper to their spirit, "You are ready. I am with you. Step forward." We seal this prayer in the name of Jesus, the one who calms storms, restores souls, breaks chains, and brings dead things back to life. Amen.